Senator Bragg.
Thank you very much, President. My question is to the Minister representing the Treasurer, Senator Gallagher. Aspiring homeowners were the biggest losers in Tuesday night's budget. There is no support for first home buyers or any initiatives to address the drain on supply. Labor remains blind, to the impact of record levels of migration and booming construction costs, which are locking Australians out of the housing market. IFM Investors Chief Economist Alex Joyner says that, quote unquote, the overwhelming consensus of economists is that the budget drives inflation, which will hurt aspiring and current home buyers by keeping interest rates higher for longer. Minister, why did Labor have no policies at all that support home ownership in this budget?
Thank you, Senator Bragg. Minister Gallagher.
Oh my goodness.
Order. Order on my right. Order on my right. Minister.
Thank you, President. I welcome the question. I thank Senator Bragg for giving me the opportunity to talk about Homes for Australia plan. It may have passed him by as he develops hand-in-hand with the Leader of the Opposition or a rehash of the super raid that he'd like to see young people forced to do to get into home ownership, which we expect that we will see tonight, a rehash of an old idea that will do nothing to enable younger Australians to get into home ownership. Because I can talk to you about all of the initiatives. Over the next 6 years, we will be investing in the order of around $32 billion in a range of programs, including programs that support people into home ownership, like the Help to Buy shared equity scheme, like the Regional Home Ownership Scheme, which I think has been so successful. But in addition to that, driving supply of new housing across the country, working with states and territories. So maybe Senator Bragg didn't see that we put more money in to get more homes built sooner, working with states and territories. I know it's something that those opposite never did in government. They always like to divide and have fights with the states and territories, but we find that it's much more productive for the Australian people if we are able to work with those that make decisions about planning to build more houses. There is no government in the history of the Federation that has done more and is doing more to drive housing supply in this country. We have our eye on this. This is a major challenge, one that we inherited after a decade of absolutely no action from those opposite, whether it be in supportive accommodation, whether it be accommodation for women, whether it be looking at ways to support the provision of rental accommodation, assistance through the Commonwealth Rent Assistance and more.
For answering has expired. Order on my left. Senator Bragg.
Minister, while ever more Australians sleep in tents and cars, the Labor government has continued the big lie that it will achieve its 1.2
Senator Bragg,
million.
you need to withdraw that.
Okay, well, it will continue to. I'll withdraw. Continue the mistruth that it will achieve the 1.2 million home target by mid-2029. Why is the government ignoring its own Labor premiers, such as New South Wales Premier Minns, who have told them repeatedly that this target is totally unachievable under Labor's current policies?
Thank you, Senator Bragg. Minister Gallagher.
Thank you. And I will essentially start where I finished, around working with states and territories. We remain committed to our target for 1.2 million homes. We have the Housing Australia Future Fund, which is going to build 30,000 homes. Where the states and territories raise issues with us, we respond, and you've seen it in this budget. We've put more money in to get more homes built sooner. We've finalised the National Agreement on Social Housing and Homelessness. We're directing more money towards crisis and transitional accommodation, all issues that have been raised by the states and territories and dealt with in this budget. We are also dealing with the skills development to make sure that we are getting the workers into the jobs that we need in the construction workforce, including 20,000 new fee-free TAFE places. And so tonight, when the Leader of the Opposition stands up, he should outline his plan, and it should go beyond your rating, your superannuation. What are you going to do about jobs? How are you going to find the skills? And how are you going to deal with the challenges in the housing market?
Senator Bragg, second supplementary.
President, It's not only the Labor state premiers who agree that Labor's housing policy is a shambles. In fact, the National Housing Supply and Affordability Council, your own committee, recently reported that Labor's target will, to quote, not be achieved, end quote. Minister, when will the Labor government be honest about the housing crisis and the failure of your own policies?
Thank you, Senator Bragg. Minister Gallagher.
We are certainly very honest about the challenges in the housing market. I don't think anyone pretends there aren't. And we will also be honest about what we inherited when we came to government, which is absolutely zero attention to this for a long period of time, and states and territory leaders have told us that. They told us that the Commonwealth under your government did nothing, wasn't interested, didn't deal with them, didn't provide them any support in order to deal with this. We have more programs. We remain committed to that target. It is a challenge, but it's a challenge that we are going to have to meet, and we will work with the states and territories to meet it. Our programs that are rolling out now, the Minister for Housing is doing an incredible job. There are housing being opened almost every week across this country, thanks to some of the programs that the Commonwealth has supported, including we're helping more than 110,000 people into their own homes through the expanded Home Guarantee Scheme.
Thank you, Minister. The time for answering